Partouf says it best, guys. FROZZ was just giving JJAKJI a chance to win this series by giving him game number 1. Clearly, he's got something in store for game number 2. We'll talk about that in a moment. Spawning in the lower southern location on Polar Night next to the Lich King. It's going to be the My Insanity players. Spawning blue, spawning Terran. It's going to be JJAKJI. And his opponent to the north from the team missing in action. It'll be the yellow Terran player FROZZ. Now, I will give it to you guys. Game 1, really one-sided. But if FROZZ had been able to do the damage with the Reapers that he intended to do, then that probably wouldn't have gone the way it did. And JJAKJI wouldn't have been afforded that sort of free, I guess, freebie to get that Banshee out, which ultimately, more so than anything else, is really what killed FROZZ there at the end. But as I said before, JJAKJI, FROZZ, both very talented players. JJAKJI obviously the favorite in this series, without a shadow of a doubt. He's probably the better Terran player in Europe, period, at the moment. But that being said, again, FROZZ has always got something up his sleeve. FROZZ and Goody are the type of people to proxy siege tanks behind your opponent's base on Polar Night, to go for these weirder offbeat strategies. But, you know, I talk up this game for FROZZ as if he's got some magnificent, majestic, ultimate, grand plan in store. But it could just simply be he's playing against JJAKJI and he's nervous. I mean, I really don't want to make excuses for him, but let's be honest, guys, it's JJAKJI. You can never take that factor out of the equation. It is worth noting he did just 2-0 Tefl to get here, FROZZ that is, so it's not like he's a scrub player who made it to the semifinals by coincidence and luck. Like, he knows what he's doing. It's just game 1 was really not a good display of skill nor character, I feel. But we'll see what happens here. He's again opening with the barracks and not quite walling off. Of course, you don't really want to wall off versus Terran players in the first place, as it makes your buildings more vulnerable than anything else. Looks like SCV can be driven away by the Marine. Quick note here, again, if you guys are just tuning in for the first time, score will always be displayed down here from here to the end of the broadcast, but also you can type !brackets in chat if you want to see who's playing on the other side of the brackets. Currently, if I refresh, because I didn't refresh before we got into the game, 1 sec. Currently, actually, Majestic is waiting to fight against, I don't know if it's Nomi or Dragon, but they're currently in the quarterfinals duking it out, so it's kind of interesting, actually. All the named players that I would know off the top of my head are really in the top half of the brackets, and the sort of, I guess, lesser popular, no, not less popular, because Dragon's really popular. Less tournament-winning players, I guess, are in the southern half of the bracket. It's weird. I can't phrase that correctly to reflect my thoughts without sounding a little bit insulting. But anyways, one of these two, of course, going to the finals. It'll be a TV something, of course, guaranteed one way or another. But we'll see right now if FROZZ can bring it back for game number 2. Now, he does have his starport coming up here rather quickly, and a Widow Mine to boot. I wonder if this will be for, like, the Winovation strategy. And if you guys don't know what I mean, it's when you basically try and bait a Widow Mine here and go with your Banshee and hope your opponent's made a Viking and you bait it over top of the Widow Mine and then run hell, or wreak havoc, I should say, rather, with that Banshee. But if it is going to be a Banshee, it's going to be later. It is not, in fact, going to be that mothership, the medevac. Although I guess it's kind of like a mother. It keeps its units alive. Oh, my babies, my babies. But alright, so a couple Widow Mines and Marines. This is a drop you typically see versus like Zerg, versus like Protoss. Not so typical versus Terran. Widow Mines are kind of, if we're gonna be blunt, garbage when it comes to this sort of drops, because SCVs can take more than one hit from a Widow Mine. The reason Widow Mines work really effectively against other worker types is because, well, they splash damage one shot, whereas splash damage does not one shot SCVs. So I feel the damage this can cause is going to be limited. JJAKJI scouts this immediately with a watchtower, so he knows this is coming. For FROZZ, this is not an all-in. This is a large dedication of his forces early on. But what is this Widow Mine from JJAKJI doing? It's going to sneak out here, perhaps burrow around here. Maybe even block out the natural? Looks like it's to block out the natural. Okay, so has to unload a little bit early as the Viking comes out to ward this off. Unfortunately, FROZZ not going to get much done with this. Widow Mine did burrow at the natural, and this is going to be a real pain to clean up for FROZZ because he did not elect to go for a Raven first with a Banshee follow-up, or the other way around, because he's going to lack detection. He's going to have to burn a scan. Now, one Widow Mine is going to go down here, and FROZZ is actually in a position where if he can bait that Viking over this, this becomes a little more worthwhile. But going to bait the Widow Mine hit with the Marine. Unfortunately, medevac goes down 2. This is really not good for FROZZ. In full retreat now, going to try to take a Viking with him. That's a consolation prize at best, though, guys. Make no mistake. It's like Titanfall. This one guy, can he get away? I think the Viking moves faster than a Marine, right? No, they move at the exact same speed. Okay, so probably not gonna escape. FROZZ, you plug pulling son of a. Of course, he didn't really plug pull. It's a very unfortunate connection issue time for him. Our player coming from Croatia. Probably not the best internet in the world, but who am I to compare? North America's under a lot of controversy for their internet connections. Might not have the fastest upload, but it's got the most, I guess, the most throttled upload of any country. Anyways, hopefully he can get this together. Again, guys, this is gonna be unfortunate for FROZZ to lag out. You can always recover game and resume from replay rather quickly, though, so it won't be an issue. In the meanwhile, at, oh god, another name I won't be able to pronounce, but Joel Wilkerson, at Joel, or Joel. Thank you for the follow on Twitter, man. Oh, looks like he did lag out. So, we're probably gonna get this game back up in a second. Let's be honest, FROZZ is really not in a good shape, not looking in a good way for the game to go in his favor, but you gotta get him online and get to go. So, we'll get him here in a second, guys. Oh, Jeffrey Ginge? I can't say names. I'm so bad. But at G Trunks with a Z. Thank you for the follow too, man. You guys, if you got Twitter, you can always follow me. My thing is displayed down there at riff_kings. It's a great way to support us. Unfortunately, somebody was, I think, trying to do something nice, but ultimately didn't in the end. But somebody bought me and Zombie Grub some fake followers, so I would like to accrue as many real, legit followers to make up for that difference. Because I hate it. Like, if whoever did it is here in chat, like, I don't hate doing it. I understand it was probably done with good intentions. But by, like, having fake followers on Twitter, I have no idea who my real audience is or what my actual reach is. So it actually hurts more than helps. But anyways, as far as Twitter goes, and that, like, other people have been bombarded with this too. Like, Loco, someone got him a bunch of fake followers. EXE Breaker has 50,000 followers on Twitter. More popular than friggin' Apollo. I don't know why or who or what, and I'm appreciative, but it doesn't help. At any rate, you can support me by following me on Twitter, riff_kings. I cast a fucking lot of StarCraft 2, pardon my swearing, but I cast a lot of StarCraft 2. Lots of top tier events, lots of our own events. Again, I highly recommend, it's not on YouTube yet, but you can check it out on Twitch through our own VODs. We had a big TVZ Starship Troopers, sort of 3 back-to-back show matches not too long ago. It was Daishi, Millennium's Daishi versus XL5's Pig. We had Axiom's Heart versus Samsung Galaxy Solar, and of course Nignitas Select versus Alien Invasion's Golden. Back-to-back matches recently. That was paid for with combination of sub money and ad revenue and whatnot, so that's what you can expect on the channel. So if you don't want to follow me on Twitter, at the very least follow the channel, because you're guaranteed to get your fill for StarCraft 2 at some point somewhere along the way. Looks like we have the lobby up though. Woo! So we'll get into this again in just a moment, guys. For those who don't know how this works, by the way, maybe you've never seen the recovery game feature. Here, I'll show you. Basically, we're going to be in-game. It's like a normal resume replay, but the difference is you have to actually right-click. Like here, if I hope that doesn't kick me. If you go to your replays, what you have to do is you have to right-click and go to recover game. Now, it's not going to show me that option because I'm in a game lobby, but you do recover game, and it hosts this version. And what this does is when you hit start, like when the game starts, it sets a time at which you resume the game. So you will then hop into the moment at which you deseed, rather than starting the map over and fast forwarding and then putting the players in manually. This does it all for you all at once. So I'll leave the game screen on so you guys can see, since a lot of people have never actually seen this before. It's kind of a cool feature. Today's co-caster is Nacho Libre. Oh, that Deland stream. Akarasi is a fake follower after all, he rarely uses Twitter. Well, thank you for following me anyways, man. I look like a fat chairman. I've been told that before in the past, actually. I don't take any, like, I think a lot of people get offended by being called fat, but it's like a fucking adjective. I'm chubby. Like, I do kind of look like an Asian guy because I am half Japanese, but yeah, I've heard that before, that I look like a fatter Chairman V. Hopefully I'm a little bit more knowledgeable than him. Oh, fucking shots fired! Plop, plop, plop! Anyways, game getting... I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry. Anyways, game getting resumed here. So what you're going to see is a complete replay blocker. Everybody sees this, players and casters alike, so that players cannot see build orders, they can't see the mini-map, they can't scout out where the hidden expansion is or where the attack is coming from. You can't see nothing until it hits resume. And then when we get to the end of the replay bar, players are immediately put into their positions, so they're not observers, they're not casters, they can only see their point of view. And it also gives a really nifty countdown, which is kind of neat too, but... Anyways, this is the recover game feature, and this is how it should be done. A lot of people don't know how to do this properly, and they try to do just like make a replay and invite people to it. You have to recover game to do this properly. So there we go. Game starts off paused, exactly where we left off. Marine running for his life, if you guys remember, in the middle of the map. 3, 2, 1. And bam, back in the action, so... A bit of an awkward split there, but we're back and ready to go. FROZZ is in full retreat with that Marine. Looks like it will actually live to see another day. But you know what? While this was looking a little bit bad as far as that push goes, FROZZ had a tank behind this. He's got a lot of Marines out. This isn't Siege, though. Sieging a little bit late, going to cost him a couple Marines, but he should be able to take this fight in the end. He wins the Viking War, too. 1 HP. What the fuck? How do you get 1 HP off of Viking hits? No armor, 14 damage a shot. That must have been a Marine that tickled it or something. I don't know. But at any rate, JJAKJI's push doesn't really kill much. FROZZ needs to repair that Viking. That's why he's pulling the SCVs to the front line. But this tank needs to be in the main. Yes, there's a turret here. Maybe it'll pick off. Oh my god, someone's spinning out in the cul-de-sac doing donuts. Oh, they almost crashed their car. Oh my god. I'm sorry. For those who don't know, it's really snowy and it's out of context for the in-game cast, but I just witnessed someone almost crash their car trying to get out of my cul-de-sac because there's like 9 feet of snow. Anyways, FROZZ is going to be caught off guard by this drop, 100%. If it times out perfectly that he happens to make a tank as this drop comes, he'll actually be pretty good to hold against this. You put a siege tank here, bring a couple Marines, you can hold. But with 1 tank of his own and 3 Marines, JJAKJI's certainly going to do a lot of damage. FROZZ is pushing into his siege line. He doesn't know it's here because he didn't scout and didn't have his air army ready, but he's just going to do it anyways. A bit of a YOLO move. I don't like this at all. This is going to cost him perhaps the game. That was a terrible engagement to take, and looks like he will eventually clean up the tanks of his opponent, but at what cost? On the other side of the map, he's trying to clean up this drop that's going on. SCVs have been pulled on top of the Marines. A militia is uniting to take out the proletariat? I don't know, but does take this down, and whoa, whoa, whoa. I talked about costing him the game, but with 3 Vipers, or not 3 Vipers, 3 Vikings, he actually manages to pick off the SCV that was building the command center. I don't think he'll kill the command center by any means, guys. And the tank is going to drive these Vikings out, but this buys him that little bit of time to maybe not have his opponent snowball out of control. Oh my god, again with 1 HP, the Viking escapes. Someone explain math to me, please. Oh, never mind, the Marine kills it in the middle of the map. Scumbag Watchtower Marine. Anyways, for FROZZ, he's in a bit of a sticky situation. This Widow Mine was accrued no kills. FROZZ is unaware it's here. If he tries to expand, he's going to be unable to. And while this started off with like a 1-base attack, it did not get him the win in the game. He's lost enough workers at this point, 17 from that drop, that he can't really go for the economy. GG's going to have to be called. And looks like JJAKJI will take the game here in the end. So 2-0 in the semifinals will send him sailing to the finals very comfortably.